Warning, this show contains adult content, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff. If you're new here, welcome as well. If you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving from surviving to thriving and living life raw. Today's episode 190, and it is Forms of Wealth. And I thought of this one today because, well, first let's get the background noise. That's my F350 diesel 7.3 liter. It's loud, sorry, but that's the time I get to podcast, so it's my mobile studio. So that's the background noise. Every once in a while, we're not driving. We can actually give you guys a nice, better quality of audio here. But for today, we're going to talk about forms of wealth. And it was just interesting to me. There's a lot of hard times happening for some people right now. For some people, they're having the best times. And for those of you that are having hard times, you know, there's a lot of different arenas, a lot of different areas of wealth that I look at. It's not necessarily just about money, but things that you can utilize in your life that you've got that sometimes money can't buy. So there's a lot of things I want to cover here today, but I really want to endorse the freedom of mind, of spirit, and, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a little affected by this whole recession thing and this COVID thing. And just heard on the news today that there's a whole second round of new shit happening, like throughout a bunch of states. I don't know if this is true or what. Just found out today. It's April 6th, I think, for me recording this one. This shit's just going nuts, guys. Well, we need to depend on a few other things. We need to make some money, and we need to keep our spirits up. So I want to talk to you guys about those forms of wealth today. So the very first one, everybody likes to talk about money, and I have a lot of things here. As far these will all come if you practice the following practices, the following subject matter that I bring to you here. But I want you guys to notice that wealth. A lot of people who are very wealthy. There's very few of them that I see that are truly healthy, happy, and wealthy. Some of them are healthy and wealthy, but not happy, you know, and vice versa. It kind of goes around. So you got to really ask yourself, if you're really after wealth, a lot of people are wanting to be millionaires and stuff like that. You got to really ask yourself, are you willing to go through the flaming, you know, hoops and all of the stuff that comes with it? Because, guys, a lot of us people who make money, I make some really, really good money, but it takes the life out of me sometimes. Running crews and dealing with clients and people and screw-ups, and it's like 50% of my job is putting out fires. So when you see somebody, most people who are wealthy, they're working their fucking asses off. And it's very simple for us to, forms of wealth, for you to take a good look and observe these people. Watch how they treat you. Because somebody who is happy and humble, they wouldn't treat you all like a robot or like shit. They'd be a happy individual. And I think it's very safe to say that all of us know that when someone's happy, you can sense it, you can feel it, you can see it in their eyes, that someone's very humble and happy and actually here to help you, you know? So unfortunately, I think a lot of wealthy people are guarded. They're worried that they're going to lose everything, worried that they'd have to start over. And some people even in the, I don't want to get banned from YouTube and all those stuff, but some people actually did some horrible stuff to themselves, let's just say. They left for a long vacation instead of starting over. So the wealth meant everything to them because they lost everything. They lost all their wealth. They figured they lost everything. It was just ridiculous. So I don't know. Money is definitely not, I'm not bashing it. I think it's very wonderful. It's something that is very needed for us as a society, as far as in this living situation that we have now. But it is almost everything, but it's not everything, if that makes sense. You can do without it, and you can pick right back up. So what are some things that are money-making things to generate wealth? And my next one is imagination. And this is what very few people have. And I think it's from public education, which I love to bash all the time. It's the way you were raised, the things you were exposed to, or maybe the things you weren't exposed to. Did your parents or anybody in your life expose you to music? It's scientifically proven that those who play music are a lot smarter, quicker. They can pick up things. Their imagination's opened, right? Because they're exposed to these things. So imagination is the driving force for a lot of us entrepreneurs and a lot of people who are able to invent things and get things going. They utilize their imagination. And imagination is like a muscle. To me, laying down on your back and taking some time out and just making shapes out of the clouds and just free thinking, I think, is what it is. See, I'm a dumb fuck. I'm pretty dumb. I read a lot of books and shit like that. My information retention is very minimal. Like, it's very hard for me to remember dates, names, and things like that. I just know what things do for me. That's all. I'm like lazy. I just want to know how this is going to improve my life. Other than that, get it the hell away from me. And I don't give a shit who said it, what page, whatever. But no, when you utilize your imagination and instead of getting frustrated at something, you sit back and look at it and imagine. In my mind, I've written music, right? Most of my music, almost all of it, I'd say 90% of it was written in my head first, and then I had to pluck it out in physical form in my hands, on guitar or on drums or bass guitar, the vocals and things like that. Most of that was imagined in my mind. And Temple Grandin was a person that I saw. That's my non-public education vocabulary right there. She said that she was able to dry run things in her head, experiments. And also, I found out last year that that's actually what Albert Einstein says. One of his most powerful exercises, or powerful, oh my God, I'm at a loss for words today, experiments, was mind experiments. It was visualizing things and coming up with things in your head to quantify them. And imagination, just bringing it all out. You can imagine things in your head, and then they come into the physical realm. So imagination is key. I think that's why it says don't let them murder your imagination. Don't let them kill your curiosity. I tell my children that almost every single day. Moving next is wonderment, and I think there's a difference between imagination and wonderment. It's just being always wondering. So you see something. Like for me all the time, I'll see like aquaponics, or I'll see, that's how I invented my gardening system, is I sat there and I said, I wonder if there's an easier way. I wonder if I could take square foot gardening and I can incorporate that into something that's actually mobile, that, blah, 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 and all it starts going. Exercising your wonderment and keeping your, I wonder about everything. Just because you see something, you don't take it for face value, or you don't take it for what exactly it is. You wonder how this could be done different. Everybody sees things in different lights, different perspectives. So wonderment, I think, is a very beautiful thing as well. And I'm not sure if you guys are getting this by now, if I've inspired you, we're thinking about these things, but can you see how these could be measured as wealth? Somebody who has a high imagination, somebody who's always full of wonderment. The wonderment too, also the magic of life is never really seeing that blue bird. You keep seeing the feathers, but you've never seen its nest. And the day that you finally do, and you see those eggs, and it's once in a lifetime, you're like, they're little, light green eggs with purple speckles. You're just like, what? This is beautiful. And they're just tiny, and it's special. And you see the baby birds. Instead of like science, everybody's got to figure everything out. We got to lock things in a cage, dissect and figure out what are the fucking mathematics of it. We're all going crazy. No, I'm just kidding. But no, to leave things to wonderment, so that you're always wondering, I wonder what a shark looks like up close. I've never seen one. And I think it keeps, once we get to something, we get somewhere and we understand it, we've ate it, we've done it, we've had it. You're just like, you get kind of bored. So always leaving things to wonderment, I think, is also an asset and a form of wealth. What do we got next on the thing here? Ingenuity. There's a lot of problems in life, and as I opened up with this show, who knows what the fuck is going on with this goddamn COVID shit. If they're vaccinating, anyways, stuff could go crazy. Recession, we got fucking reset now, maybe COVID again. You gotta have some ingenuity. We gotta learn how to pivot, and I think it's also a muscle. Probably pretty much everything I'm sharing today is a muscle. Once we see the ingenuity of things, like for instance for me right now, my business is definitely getting affected. I'm not freaking out about it. I've got plenty of money in the bank, so whatever, but I want to keep shit going. Right now I'm tweaking things around. I'm coming up with ideas of how I can videotape someone's roof, for instance, that I'm fixing, and basically make an entire movie on an edited like commercial, or not a commercial, but how I fix things. So that when I go to sell a job, I will actually show the real life problems of what's going on with my customer's roof. And then I have all this, that's like my B-roll, right? And I have an editing software and a video that's only about a minute long, where I can show what the problems were, what I had to do to take things apart. So basically what I'm saying in a nutshell is, on video form, my clients would be able to see their roof, point out what's wrong, show them something very similar, and show them exactly what it is that we're going to do. And that's why the cost of the project is going to cost this amount of money. That's the amount of labor that needs to happen. And also videotaping every single, even on bids, videotape, a job that I'm not even getting, videotaping all the broken tiles and things and show people. If you leave things going, basically it gives me free content to send to people, and also very instructional stuff to help me sell. So I'm using my ingenuity to build things, to make myself even better. And I think we got to think of forms like that. How can we've talked a lot about on the show how we can use food to combat, growing your own food, to combat inflation and things like that, and the wealth of growing seeds and stuff. So use your imagination, wonderment, but your ingenuity as well. Start learning how to tweak things and fix things. What I don't have on here is your instincts and your intuition. Yeah, exercising your intuition, I think, is a crazy. I don't know. I didn't write that one down and give enough time to think about it, but I want to throw that one in there. Intuition. If I could just say a few words off the top of my head here, and the first thing that comes to my mind is when I go to eat foods, vegetables, I choose with my intuition which vegetables I want to eat. My mouth tells me I'll grab. Right now, it's been celery, and it's this chipotle bitchin' sauce. It's really good. But I can't get enough celery, so there's salts and something in it. And then I ate some tomatoes, and my intuition knows that, you know what, I don't need spinach right now. I don't need these things. So it's very simple to try to exercise it. So I thought I would just throw that one in as a bonus. I know that was kind of scrappy right there, but forms of wealth, of learning to be sustainable. And as you guys, whoever's been following me, I like to move that / resiliency instead of sustainable, because sustainable, we reach a certain point, we're able to sustain it and keep it going. Whereas I like in life, it's very hard to keep something sustained. There's a lot of problems happen. Resiliency, you can pull something, stretch it like a rubber band, and it snaps right back to its original form and does not get damaged. That's what I look at. We like to be stretched, well, we don't like to, but we're being stretched and being pushed around. Things changing like we may have here, crazy year 2021. But through resiliency, I think, and practices of sustainability, if we're doing these things, we kind of already know, we kind of already expect, and we've got things in place to be able to rebound, to be able to recover. So yeah, very important. Very important form of wealth. Happiness. The dead and the dying. Not the dead. The dying regrets of the old people. A lot of them said that, there's a nurse that wrote down like there's 10 to 15, maybe even 20 of the most common regrets. Thousands of people dying, saying the same shit. I wish I'd have known that happiness was a choice. And happiness, I think, as I said, opened up. A lot of people may have the wealth, but they don't have the happiness. Some people have happiness, but they don't have the wealth. I actually would prefer to have the happiness than the wealth, or both, actually, in my book. And wealthy to me is not $1 million. I just want to be able to live comfortable and live in a fucking hobbit hole, a wafati, an in-ground system that's using geothermal and all that, and living in harmony with nature. But the fucking Department of Make You Sad, and especially California, won't allow you to do those things. So I got to make money to find out where I could go. But that's my form of wealth, a form of happiness. So I think really knowledge is another one. I think having knowledge of things, educating yourself. I think like we talk a lot about money, since that was the first one we brought up, learning about inflation, learning about the difference between assets and liabilities, but also knowledge of how to heal people, how to defend yourself, how to grow food, how to identify medicinal plants, and how to make money. All of these things, these knowledge. I think a lot of people aren't educated, especially in the health sector, which I think is on my, no, I don't have it on next on my list. But we go to the doctors and we depend on the doctors to tell us what's wrong and what we need. And what do? They push medicines. A lot of them say that holistics and herbology and stuff like that in foods don't work until you actually have open heart surgery. And they say, well, are you eating grapefruits? Are you eating this? Suddenly, magically, all the essential oils, like peppermint oil and all these things could complicate your body. I thought you said they didn't do shit. But now that we're doing open heart surgery on somebody, you need to refrain from using all of these holistic foods, things, and ointments and oils and things like that. So it's good to educate yourself to know about both sides, unbiased, and to figure out to make an educated decision, especially when it comes to your health. Spirituality is my last one here. We're running out of time. I think spirituality is a connection, like to me, with nature. Watching I have a spiritual connection with my plants. Like I watch them grow. I can smell the scents that they put off when I brush against my tomatoes too much. I have a sense of how much water they need, and I have a sense of appreciation. One of my big things is a lot of people feel that it's bad to take lives of animals. And to me, when you start researching about trees and the forest and how they interact and how they're all combined with their root systems underground, their pine trees are babysitting other pine trees, and it's a whole network of communications in the plant kingdom. This is just as sophisticated and just crazy as animals. Sometimes I think that the plants are even more sophisticated. They certainly have been here a lot longer than us and a lot of these animals, so it kind of tells you something. So spirituality, I think, is a very large one as well. Guys, I pay to do this show, and I can't afford to do more than 15 minutes. I'm on 16 minutes now. So if you guys really like this show, if it brought you any value, please subscribe. I need to get this show up and running. Review me on the podcast. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, middle finger. Let's get this shit going, man. If you guys want the show to be here, I need to get subscribers. So please, I hate that word. Smash this. Yeah, I'm not going to say that. Just please go and tap it. Only if you really like it, though, and it's really good. Because if I don't get subscribers in the next, I'm going to do this 7 days a week, these shows. If I don't get them in the next month, some sort of growth, I may consider shutting the show down. I may try for the whole rest of 2021. And if it doesn't get anywhere, this will be my 3rd year, then I understand that I suck and I won't be here for you guys. So I'm going to go live the life. Guys, check it out. It's Up and In It on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere else I can do these podcasts. And as I always say, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it. And bone it, my friends.